I'm now excited to be joined by a very special guest. It is our good friend, Matt Barrie. Matt, congratulations are in order. The new deal, stay at ESPN. It is signed, sealed, delivered, the whole thing. You're still going to be on our TV a whole lot, like pretty much every time we flip on the TV in the fall. And then a lot more, of course, Sports Center, the golf coverage. You are continuing all of your same roles with ESPN. When you and your agent negotiated the deal, I got to imagine that besides like, the compensation, whatever, all that stuff, you had to have negotiated some perks into that deal. Like when you go cover the Masters, you get your first pick of the bedrooms that you guys get at like the Airbnb or something like that.
Yeah. First of all, Connor, good talking to you again. Love coming on with you. And it's funny you bring that up because my golfing buddy and podcasting mate, Michael Collins, the caddy, he and I are sharing a house. Eves is in the house as well. So the bedroom lottery is big when you get to the Masters.
Oh, typically,
I know. The first person that gets there typically bogards the master bedroom with the attached bathroom. So that's kind of my first bit of drama with the new contract is once I get to Augusta, who gets the best room.
You could have also done the Bill Polian thing where you get to go through the ESPN cafeteria and just take whatever you want for free. Do you think of doing anything like that?
Well, the cafe has been closed for a while because of COVID. It's been weird. It's not it's open for business, but the ESPN caf, we always joke about it, was one of the great places to hang out because it was like a busy restaurant during rush hour every single day. We haven't had that now for 2 years. And so me being able to just pick what I want wasn't on the table. We got some good, maybe they'll let me wear a green jacket on Master Sunday. Who knows what just the fact that I got the new deal. I'm going to be back at ESPN. We had some fun with some other stuff, but I'm looking forward to it.
Have you ever had a starstruck moment in the ESPN cafeteria where like, Tom Cruise is doing the car wash and he walks in to grab a smoothie or something like that as you're just sitting there eating like a club sandwich and you're, oh yeah, it's pretty cool to work here.
So I was starstruck a couple of times. I forget the years now, 2015, 2016. I don't remember what it was. One of them, I did a interview with Robert De Niro, was on campus. And so they sat
that's
down.
Sick.
Yeah. They sat him down right in the middle of we didn't get to take a commercial break. There was something going on with breaking news in baseball. I forget what it was. And so I'm sitting, and out of the corner of my eye, the thing popped out. Sorry.
Oh, we're good. Oh, hold up. We're having mic issues.
All right.
Oh, now we're good. All right. Let's pick over.
Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
So then out of the corner of my eye, because we typically, when you have someone of that stature, just any guest really that comes into studios, is pre-COVID, obviously, they like to do it during a commercial break, sit them down, introduce yourself, kind of loosen them up a little bit. And because of breaking news or whatnot, I didn't get that opportunity to introduce myself to Robert De Niro before I interview him. And so they just sit him down right in the middle of me reading some video, some voiceover. And he sits down right next to me. I'm like, oh my God, that's Robert De Niro. So I got starstruck at first. Then I had to snap out of it because I was getting ready to interview him 30 seconds later. Between that one and doing David Letterman's first television interview after retirement is probably as starstruck as I've ever been there.
The De Niro thing, I would just be looking over my shoulder the entire time. Like, am I about to get whacked? I've seen Goodfellas. I know how smooth he is.
Casino, all of them.
The sweat would not be starstruck with De Niro. That's one of the very few where I've seen enough of his characters to know how he gets down. Like that's terror.
But then he's meet the parents guy, that's what makes him so great. You don't know what role you see when he walks in because it's Robert De Niro. In an older De Niro, you're going more meet the Fockers and meet the parents in that route. Whereas if this was 15, 20 years ago, the younger De Niro, I'm with you. You're going Goodfellas. You're going Casino. You're like, what is this guy capable of when he sits down next to you? It was a moment I'll never forget. I've got great pictures of it. And it was just so much fun.
Dude, Meet the Fockers promos at Disney Airwaves. God, oh man, that'd be just tricky from staff to navigate through.
That, right?
Unbelievable. Was there ever any doubt about leaving ESPN? Because I got to imagine a network like CBS, NBC, they would love to acquire somebody with your skill set, with your areas of expertise in football and in golf.
Yeah, it was, there are a lot of networks out there that you just hit on it, that do the golf regularly, more than ESPN for that matter. We've got the two major championships and the Masters and the PGA Championship. We do a lot of coverage on ESPN Plus now, which is done through PGA Tour Entertainment. And there are networks out there that do more than just the two. And golf is a passion of mine. And then when you look at it, when you get right down to it, if you love college football, which I do as much as anybody, if not more than anybody, ESPN's still the place to be. There's so much good stuff during the week. It also too, Connor, it allows me to call games.
Yeah.
I love calling Thursday night football. I love it. And to find a package with play-by-play for college football, being able to host studio college football with Jesse and Joey, and then throw in the golf major championships. It was, of course you look, of course you look around to see what's out there, but at the end of the day, I think ESPN, when it came down to it, still checked all the boxes for everything that I love.
I remember when you came on in December and you talked about that new challenge, getting called play-by-play. Like I've never done it before. It's kind of cool to be out there doing all these games, and you made that transition back in 2018 and to get to do bowl games and all those different things. You're right. You want to do a lot of stuff, it sounds like. And if there was ever a time to renegotiate what you're doing for ESPN, now would have been it. And instead of being a guy that's going to take all these things off your plate and just get laser focused into like one or two things,
right?
Like, no. I still want to be able to do all these four or five different things that I got going on here. Like, did you ever have any thought process of like wanting to change kind of your day to day with all that?
During football season, it's a lot. During football, I'm doing, at least this past season, 21, I was doing 4 days of Sports Center a week. So I was doing a full-time Sports Center schedule. I was calling Thursday night college football. Then I was doing studio on Friday and then all day Saturday. And so you're doing 3 jobs at once at the busiest time of year. You got to find time, like when's a great time to prep for my game. I've got coaching Zooms. I've got to talk to the coaching staffs. Then, oh, by the way, you've got Sports Center that same day. And so Thursdays and Fridays, I was doubling up. I was doing Thursday noon Sports Center, calling the game later that night, coming back on Friday to do Sports Center at noon, and then going back and doing studio that night, and then studio all day Saturday. And so it's an adrenaline rush. Towards the end of the year, I'd say about mid-October, you start feeling it, but it's a good thing to be busy. Being busy is during football season is what we all got into this for. And then this time of year, you know what it is, Connor? It's right now, I'm kind of on Sports Center autopilot. I'm calling a couple of spring games in the next couple of weeks. So I'll have that to look forward to. And so between Sports Center, a couple of spring games that I'll be calling, and then getting ready for Augusta, it slows down enough after the season to where you don't really need to ask off much because you're having so much fun doing what you're doing. And then this time of year, it's a little less crazy.
That's what I always say to people is like, that's kind of the beauty of doing college football, is that for 4 months of the year, 4 or 5 months, it's crazy. It's nonstop. Like, sorry, we're not going to be hanging out on a Saturday or Sunday. It's just not going to happen. But like the rest of the year, it does kind of slow down into a mode where for the most part, you can kind of catch your bearings a little bit and then you get ramped up again. And that's the unique thing about it. If it was like 8 or 9 months like that, that'd be a totally different story. That'd be unsustainable. But I'm kind of curious. I've been wondering about this as I've been, watching the season of The Bachelor, but true or false, you signed your new deal with ESPN to fend off any possibility of new Bachelor host Jesse Palmer encroaching on your role as the main host of ESPN's college football coverage.
Yeah. I don't know how many more jobs that dude can have. It's like, I was like, man, you're baking stuff. You're surfing competition, you're the Bachelor, you're doing all that. I was like, just leave the rest for us. I joke around about him all the time. I joke with him all the time on Saturdays. I'd say, okay, now like we're gonna let the actual host. You just get in your analyst role and watch the pros do it. And so we have fun with it, and Jesse's a good sport about it. I know they're getting ready to do the finale right now, but he worked. I think he missed this last year. They were actually shooting The Bachelor during football.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. Oh, we got mic issues. Hold up. We're gonna get the mic figured. Oh, the mic is good.
Yeah, this thing's sensitive. That's why Herbie stopped using it for the podcast.
Sick brag.
But yeah, I would joke around with him, and they were actually shooting The Bachelor during football season, so he had to miss a couple of Saturdays. But he'd be all over the world, come back in dog tired, and still do a great job. So we make fun of him and have fun with him, but he works his butt off, and he's one of the smartest football people we have. That guy does more prep. He is so prepared. You'd think if he was handing out roses, he'd punt on football. I mean, the guy's damn good at what he does. And so hopefully I can fend him off from taking any other job that I want in the future.
This might be weird for you to think about, but you're in the role that Reese Davis was before he took over in College Game Day as a College Game Day host, when Fowler makes the move to go from game day to being like the premier play-by-play guy. Reese, I'm convinced, is just like 35 years old. So maybe it's weird to talk about him passing the torch to anyone, but would you want to be his College Game Day replacement one day if that position eventually came open?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a dream job. That's a job, you get into this industry for. Having said that, you nailed it. Reese isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Reese is he's taking the preeminent college football show and taking the torch from Chris Fowler, and has kept it at that same high level since he's been host. And he and Kirk and Chris and Fowler and those guys, or not Fowler, but Corso and Pollock and Desmond, those guys are so fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, if you love college football and you grew up watching the show like I did, and you're able to do football for ESPN, and Reese, whenever that day might be, if he wants to come up to me and say, "Hey, you know what I was thinking about," I'd be like, "You know what? Say no more." But I think Reese is the best in the business, and he'll be on that show for years to come.
You wear many hats at ESPN, and that includes being an analyst, which you do a lot on the golf side as well. LSU fans are wondering about Jayden Daniels. You are an Arizona State grad. You've got the unbelievable painting of Pat Tillman in the background. I wish everybody at home could see this. It's incredible. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Very, very cool. You've watched plenty of Jayden Daniels throughout your career. It almost feels like West Coast Spencer Rattler with the way that things kind of ended. Just bizarre, incredibly talented, obviously different circumstances, different surrounding circumstances as well. But what was your reaction to kind of seeing the bizarre locker room video? And then what was your reaction to seeing him transfer to LSU?
So the locker room video was taken a little bit out of context. They were, I know how it looked and how it sounded, but the equipment guys had been in the locker earlier cleaning some of this stuff out, and there was some stuff left over that hadn't been opened yet. So I think some of the guys were just trying to get some of the gear, from what I've been told. I don't think they were moving him out and saying, "Hey, get the hell out of here. We don't want you here anymore." So I think that video was taken a little bit out of context. But in terms of Jayden leaving, I was really surprised. I thought, he had done that whole movie trailer like video to announce that he was staying. He and Herm were always had a good relationship. Herm put a lot of trust in him, and that's just kind of the way it is in college football now. Having said that, Jayden as a freshman stormed onto the college football scene and was incredible. And I think a lot of that is because he's a very gifted athlete. He's a damn good athlete and a good quarterback. But he also, and he'll get this at LSU now, but when he was a freshman, he had Brandon Ayuk to throw to.
Yeah.
At that point, when you're a freshman, you're not really thinking. You're just letting your natural instincts take over. So when you throw a deep ball, everyone comes back to that Oregon game. Yeah, he just threw it up and let the speedster run under it, and that's a smart quarterback. It's going to be a challenge for him at LSU because of how Brian Kelly operates with his quarterbacks. And Jayden is an all-world runner. When you needed a guy, he's clutch. When you need a guy to get you the 7 yards, he'll tuck it and go get it. That's the problem, is he knows that he can tuck it and go get it and move the chains with his feet. The most interesting thing to me at LSU is he going to understand what Brian Kelly is trying to do. Hang on, we had a mic issue again, I think.
All good. Mic issues. This is the podcasting world. You actually left out podcasting duties as one of the million things that you do. Cause like you host with Feinbaum, you host with Herbie, being able to recap the weekend in college football.
Can you hear me fine here?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that'll be interesting to see if Jayden can do, can he execute the offense the way Brian Kelly likes it? Can he take 3 steps, plant the back foot, read 1 covered, read 2 covered? Can he check it down? Can he make the right first read and hit the guy over the middle? Those are things that remain to be seen, because anybody who watched Arizona State football, may not have been a lot of people, you didn't really see the progression with Jayden. He was a star as a freshman. He did some good things as a sophomore. There was the pandemic year that came down. And then last year, he just kind of, he never found it. And I think that's what was puzzling a lot of people at Arizona State. If he's coached up and he grasps what it is Brian Kelly's going to do, LSU got a hell of a quarterback. I mean, they really did. But I just don't know that I saw enough with him succeeding against Pac-12 defenses to make me believe that he can now go to the SEC West, which is the toughest division in all of sports, and play at a high level. There's a chance I'm wrong, Connor, but it's going to be difficult. But LSU got themselves someone who could be a weapon.
Counterpoint, he's got like 3 guys on his team that could be Brandon Ayuk, like Kayshon Boutte might be like one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in college football. They got Besh, like they got Brian Thomas. They are loaded, man. Like you talk about better surroundings and whether or not a kid can thrive, and if that's what makes the difference. Do you kind of see that as the key difference for him, and what could kind of take him to that next level? Or do you think he's going to be one of those guys who maybe could struggle with a transition in camp, and maybe we're talking about Miles Brennan being the starter instead of him?
Look, Miles Brennan's been there. Miles Brennan knows Baton Rouge. He knows LSU. He knows the culture. The thing that evens us out for everybody, it's a new coaching staff. So any loyalties prior to Brian Kelly showing up, they're not there anymore. It's a new staff. We'll see how Jayden responds to competition. He never had to compete at ASU. He beat out Joey Yellen when he was a freshman. They both came in as 4 stars. He beat him out a little bit in camp. I think he was always going to be Herm's guy. So he never had to compete to keep the job. We'll find out. The best way to find out about someone is when they compete. So if he goes into camp, Miles Brennan's there, spring ball, and they've got to figure out who he is as a player, you're going to know right away. And again, when this kid's clicking, I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I want to see it again. I really want to see peak Jayden Daniels, because I think he's a special player. Just, I don't know. I mean, he's from California. He's going down to the South. We'll see how it all works out. But man, if it clicks, look out.
Would you be willing to bet your new contract at ESPN on his name being called at next year's NFL draft?
In what round?
Round.
I don't know, because all the NFL rumors came out about him. I'm like, man, no, he's not ready.
Yeah.
He's not, I don't know. I want to be careful with it, because I've seen enough of both, the good and the bad, to legitimately have no idea which one is the norm. You know, as a freshman, we're like, this kid's going to take ASU to a Rose Bowl. This guy's electric. And then we never saw much of that again. And so you got to wait and you got to see. But look, we've seen quarterbacks come out of nowhere before, right? They go to a new situation, or they're just not really talked about in the preseason. Then bam, they hit. They're a household name. He's got that ability to do that.
As a member of the Alliance, can you just apologize to the college football world for nixing expansion?
I don't know what the Alliance is. I don't know what I get so angry talking about some of this. I don't know what it is. No. We had a bowl alliance way back when that led to the BCS, that led to this. If someone can explain to me what this alliance, like, just can we just play? Can we get rid of all the garbage and play? Expand the playoff. Tell me how that's not good for the sport. I'm so tired of it. If you could explain the alliance, I've got time. Do you know what it is?
I think I'd have a tougher time explaining the alliance than what an NFT is. I think at this point.
Yeah.
All I know is
NFTs. And I look at someone that's really into NFTs, I'm like, dude, like, what are we doing here? No. I'm like, okay, explain it. Like, what is it? Oh, it's this, but okay, but what is it?
Peter Burns, we had him on. PB is a dear friend. Asked him to explain what NFTs are.
Is he into it?
He's in the business. He's in the space, as we like to say.
Is he really?
He is in the space.
Doing
yes.
what?
He is in the space with the Players Lounge, working with former Georgia quarterback Aaron Murray, which nothing but good things to say about that, what they've been able to do, getting money back to the student athletes. That's what it's all about. He couldn't give me a full explanation of what an NFT is. Dick Butkus is in the NFT game. Everybody is. I think we might be the last two people who aren't.
So we did a feature on SportsCenter about NFTs, and the way that I understood it, it's like a digital created thing that's just for you. Yeah. But they were using the Zion Williamson NFT as like a highlight, like it's your own highlight. I'm like, well, I can go YouTube that highlight. How is that? I don't know. But you're talking to a guy that's on TikTok. Like I'm just not. I don't know. I think I finally hit the point where my give a damn is broken. Yeah. About all the stuff, and I think as technologically advanced as I'm going to get with the kids is Instagram, and that's probably it. Yeah, well, anything past an Instagram story, I'm pretty much that's it. That's about as far as I'll go at this point. I don't have time for TikTok. I don't know. I sound like get off my lawn guy, but I'm 43 years old. I'm comfortable with who I am. You guys want to go make TikToks about your day and your meal? Have at it. I'll get you out of here on stuff you are more comfortable with. Yeah. The Masters. Can you accurately predict a Masters winner? And I think if you could do that, it would make up for your lack of knowledge about the Alliance and NFTs. There are two guys I'm keeping an eye on that I think are going to have something to say about it. And having said that, we're taping this on Monday. The players leaked over into Monday. Last time I checked, Cam Smith was leading. Cam Smith's one of my guys that I think is going to be a factor at Augusta. The other guy is Victor Hovland. I think if Victor Hovland can figure out the putting, if he can get the short game under control, putting is paramount at Augusta National. The way that he drives the ball, his ball flight is perfect for that course. I like Victor Hovland to put on the green jacket. That's my official pick. Now, I reserve the right to change it between now and Augusta, but right now, as far as we know, Victor Hovland's my guy. I don't hate that. A mid-March Masters prediction. There is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you get to change up if you want. We'll end today talking about your bucket list. You've done the Masters a bunch, obviously. You've been to Augusta. You've been to national championships. I got to imagine you've seen so much now that your bucket list is more of just getting to see your teams, your specific teams play for national titles. Yeah, Arizona State's a long way from that. Your words and mine. But look, you're right. With this career, I've just been so fortunate. Even before ESPN, I worked in Dallas for 5 years at the NBC station, traveled with the Cowboys. When I was there, the Mavs won the championship. Went to 2 Super Bowls. Arlington hosted the one. The Green Bay, I think it was Green Bay and no, it was Pittsburgh and New England. Who was that? Why am I feeling so old now? Either way, Arlington hosted Super Bowl. Then I was at the Super Bowl in Indy. So I've done a lot of great things. But yeah, bucket list, I think eventually would, like, for instance, I would love to see the Suns win the NBA title this year. I grew up a Suns fan. They were the only pro sports team we had growing up in Arizona until we got the Cardinals in the late 80s. And so seeing the Suns, do it for Al McCoy, the legendary play-by-play guy of the Suns. Little things like that at this stage in my career would be fun because, yeah, you do a lot. I mean, there's still broadcasting bucket list. I want to cross off and still being involved in some of these major championships in the college football world. But you hit it. Like seeing your teams now win the big one. Thought the Cardinals had it when Kurt Warner left the field, and then Santonio Holmes with the great catch in the end zone. Jake Plummer, I was at that Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Had we won that game, we win the national championship. Yep. So I've had my heart broken enough to at least one of these years, let me cry tears of victory and not these tears of heartache. I think Kyler Murray's going to give you tears of joy and not heartache. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. The Cardinals, I don't know. Look, the way that they finished the season, they had a hell of a year. They're frustrating. I mean, that's a frustrating team. It's a good team. But Kyler, I'll be interested to see how the organization handles that one, because he wants his contract. He's still under contract, but the way of the world now in the NFL is pay your guy earlier so you don't have to pay him late.
$50 million just to, I don't know the terms of your deal. I'm going to assume he wants a hair more than what you got from ESPN. Just throwing that out there.
No, 50 million. I got 50 million. I got 50 million every year for 3 years, 150 mil. Sign it up.
Got that fine bum money.
Yes, I know. Yeah, right. So I'm going to maybe I'll need Kyler's agent next time to come in and negotiate for mine, even though Jim Ornstein, agent to the Stars, is a great guy. If Kyler gets that kind of money, maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, this has been great, man. Congrats on the new deal.
Connor, appreciate you guys. You know, I love your guys' work. Love what you guys do for the sports, especially come Saturdays in the fall. There's nothing like it. So anytime you want to hop on and talk ball, I'm here.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.